Hi everyone and welcome to Doc's Thoughts. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different, and that is use a diagram to describe my Doc's Thoughts. If you're my patient in clinic, you may often find me going up to my whiteboard, using my dry erase marker and kind of drawing out the picture of what I think is going on with you. And usually I'll put the main symptom in the middle, the main thing you came to me for, and then we draw a diagram showing how all the other connecting parts matter and why it's not just that one problem that's the problem. And I would say that's the biggest difference between what I was taught in Western medicine and how I practice in Western medicine and how I now practice in my integrative practice. In Western medicine, we're very problem focused. There's a problem and you treat the problem. You have insomnia, you take a drug. You have depression, you take a drug. You have a gallbladder problem, you get your gallbladder taken out. You see what I'm talking about. In integrative medicine, you have a problem and we still will often do the drug or do the therapy, but we also make sure we look at the whole picture and the whole story. And we see what's connected to that problem that can be eradicated or improved that might minimize your need for drugs, minimize your need for other therapies, and then obviously just make you feel better in the long haul. So that's kind of the whole point of the story. So I'm going to use an example that I did in clinic this week, and it was someone who came to me really for insomnia. She's sleeping terribly. She's like, I just want to help sleep. That's all I want. But when we dug into it, I was able to show her all of the things that are connected to her sleep that are important. Because I could have just put her on a sleeping medication. It would have knocked her out. But without treating all the other factors, it probably wouldn't have lasted for long, and she may have needed additional drugs in the future. Or she's just on a drug for the rest of her life that she doesn't really necessarily need to be on. So here's how it went. So this patient presented with insomnia. And if you can't read my writing, that's tough. It's doctor writing and it's not going to get any better, but this word says insomnia. And we started to tease in her life out all these different reasons why she's having this problem, insomnia. So specifically hormone changes. She's perimenopausal, her progesterone levels are dropping. This will often cause insomnia in women. Those of you who have gone through that know exactly what I'm talking about. She also has significant stress. She had a job change, she was working tons of hours, and this was causing just regular stress that is expected, but it was definitely affecting her sleep and her insomnia. She had some emotional baggage, so we dug a little bit into her trauma. And I don't need people to go into detail about their traumas, but I just bring it to the front that any trauma, whether it's childhood or recent, can affect their physical health. So for example, this emotional baggage she was having was increasing stress in her life, which also was causing the insomnia. So you're starting to see a theme of how it's all connected. The other things, just to finish up here, is there's toxins that get involved. So she was drinking a little bit too much wine, which directly affects your sleep. Her diet wasn't as healthy, so when you eat more processed foods, more sugar, that can affect your sleep. And then she had some back pain, so she had a disease, I would call that a form of a disease, that was physically affecting her ability to sleep because it would wake her up in the middle of the night. So what did we do for her? Did I put her on a sleeping pill? I did. She needed some sleep and she needed it fast. She was really suffering. So I put her on short-term medication for sleeping, but then we also talked about how could we optimize her hormones, so we worked on that. I just brought to light that her emotional baggage might be affecting this, so she's going to work on this on her own and maybe get some counseling or do whatever you need to do for that. She might change her job because her job stress is probably too much and she's not going to get away from it unless she changes her job, so that might be something she actually does. She's going to try to drink less wine and maybe skip wine some of the nights, and she's going to work on improving her diet, and she's going to go to physical therapy. So doesn't that make sense? And can't you see how in the end, she's not going to be on that sleeping pill anymore because she's not going to be having problems with sleep because everything else will be better. And don't you see how that's probably the better way to live our lives? So I want you to think about that. Do you have a problem or a disease or a symptom? And are you taking a drug or doing something for that symptom that you could actually do something more and look deeper and look at the whole picture, and then you can just forget about it because it's just going to go away. Think about that. And if that's the case, do something about it. Come to see someone like me. Do some research, educate yourself, and make yourself healthier and better so we can all have a wonderful life. All right, talk to you guys soon.